Diving right in on today's video, we're going to start with the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm in Tough Cookie. I really love the thick consistency and the glossy finish that it gives. Next, I'm going to fill in my brows just a tad with the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Deep Brown. Just going to clean them up a tad bit and carve them out with the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in Deep Chestnut. This is just to give my face more shape. Majority of the brushes that I use today will be from Morphe, with a few Wet n Wild brushes thrown in there here and there. I'll try to list every single thing down below. In that order from e.l.f., I did get a eyelid primer, but today I opted to use the same concealer in Deep Chestnut just to mute out my eyelids since they did look so discolored today, just so we'll have a blank canvas to work with eyeshadow. After smoothing that out with one of my Wet n Wild brushes, I'm gonna take the matte powder in the e.l.f. contour palette and set my eyelids, and then we're gonna dive straight into the 39A palette from Morphe, going into the shade Define Me, tapping that color onto my crease before blending it out with the same brush. Next, I'm going to take a smaller blender brush and go in with the shade Vivid, doing the same thing I did before in my crease, just tapping it on and then blending it out, just to make sure everything's smooth. Next, I'm going to take a flat shader brush from Morphe and go in with the shade Frame and tap that all over my lid. It didn't really give me the color payoff that I wanted initially, so eventually I'm going to go in with my finger. Sometimes your fingers are your best tools when it comes to makeup, but I'm just going to get that color to be as opaque as I was envisioning for this look. I didn't show this on camera, but I picked up a more detailed blending looking brush and I went in with the shade Expression just to add some depth to the outer V. I smoothed that on my outer V and I went back and forth with the lid shade and the shade Expression until I got the desired color payoff that I was looking for. Making sure to also go in with a blending brush to make sure that everything's smooth and there's no stark lines of demarcation on my eye. After getting that desired lid color that I was looking for, I'm going to go in with an angled brush and use the shade Muse from the palette. I'm lining my eye, essentially not using a gel liner because I wanted a smoked out liner look. So I'm going to go back and forth with that shadow, making it as intense as I want it to be, and then going in with that same detailed brush I used for my outer V to smooth out the edges so it'll be more of a smoky effect instead of a stark line on my lash line. After finishing up the eyeliner, I'm going to dust away that fallout, complete the other eye off camera, clean that up with a baby wipe, and jump right in with the Jelly Pop Primer. I'm going to apply that all over my face. Then I'll be mixing together two foundations. Today I used the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation from that same order, and I got Maple and Brulee. I mixed it together pretty neutral on one side and pretty warm on the other. but when I blended it all together, it ended up working out, and I used the total face sponge to do that. I actually really love that blender that I used. It's very soft and it gets the job done. It doesn't take away much of the foundation, and it gives you a very airbrush flawless finish. Next step I'm going to do is the concealer. I used the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I do not know what shade I used because the name was not on the tube. This is actually my first time, well, second time, because my first video was a fail, but my second time using the product. That was just me looking kind of shocked because I didn't realize how peachy that tone was. I'm not sure if it was just the concealer in general or the fact that it's separated because I've had it so long without using it, but everything looked cohesive after blending it out. I used the Camo Concealer Sponge to blend everything, and then I went back over my blending with the Total Face Sponge that had a little bit of that remaining product on it from my foundation, just to make sure there's no harsh lines and everything was seamless. Next, I'm going to be taking the small powder brush from a Wet n Wild set that I have and using the e.l.f. matte setting powder to blend over all those spots that I did use the concealer. And after I'm done with the brush, I'm going to go back in with that Total Face Sponge, getting the remaining powder in the cap and also blending over the spots that I concealed, just to make sure everything once again is seamless and it doesn't look so powdery and makeup-like. And for my next step, I'm going to take a smaller angle brush from that same Morphe brush set, and I'm going to take two of those bronzers in that contour palette, well, the two darkest contour shades, and carve out my nose. And once I'm done placing the powder, I'm going to blend down and take the Total Face Sponge once again and blend out those harsh lines from the contour powder that I used on my nose. The Total Face Sponge is really an essential product. I will be purchasing more of these sponges because I really like this sponge. As you can see, I've used it in every step basically. It gives a seamless blend. And I'm going to take a Wet n Wild brush from that set, just a bigger powder brush, and add those same two shades to my cheekbones and under my jawline. Now I'm going to be going in with the primer infused bronzer and constantly bronzed with a small powder brush from that Morphe set, and just blending over my contour shade so it won't be so stark and it'll be a little more blended out, adding warmth to my face since I've already added a cool tone to my face to define it. And I'm going to go once again with my Total Face Sponge and blend out those harsh edges. Then I'm going to take a blush brush from that Morphe set and use the Wet n Wild blush in Mellow Wine. This blush has been around forever. I'm going to apply that to my cheeks and over my nose because I really like that flushed blush look lately. course, I'm gonna drench myself with the Milani Make It Dewy setting spray, dry that up a little bit, and take that highlighting shade from the contour palette and also the 24 karat gold highlighter. I was gonna just use the 24 karat gold highlighter that I'm holding up, but it wasn't really doing it for me, so I mixed it together with the highlighter from the actual contour palette, and that gave me kind of the look that I was looking for. So I'm going to use that on my inner corners, my brow bone, and my cheekbones, and I think the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and above my lip, just to bring some brightness back to my face. And since that lip balm is so thick and glossy, I'm going to wipe that off before applying my lip liners. I'm using the 3 nude lip liners from the Retro Paradise kit. I'm going to go in with the dark one first and outline my lips. Then I'm going to fill in my lips with the medium shade and go in to the center of my lips with the lightest shade, just to give my lips that nude ombre effect. Eventually I am going to top it all off again with the Tough Cookie lip balm again, but you'll see how it looks in just a sec. And now for another classic, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Falsies mascara. I haven't used this mascara since high school, but it used to be one of my favorites. I'm going to apply a thin coat of mascara just to prep my eyes for the lashes. I'm going to be using the So Wispy Kiss lashes in the style Pompadour. Another Juicy Jazz recommendation. I really like those lashes because they are thick, but they're a natural type of thick. They just add more to what you already have. Well, as I gather myself together to do the outro of this video, just want to jump in and tell y'all to enjoy the background music of my daughter singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Alright, and here we have the completed look. It's pretty matte, pretty brown, and that's really what I was going for. I don't know if you can really see, but I really like how it turned out. I wish I had somewhere to go. Let me see how to look if I just top it off with the Tough Cookie gloss. Well, not even gloss, balm. Let's see. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Well, tonight's video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos. I really enjoyed all those products that I used today. I do plan to do something different with this palette soon, because as you can see, There's so much variety. There's a lot of neutrals and browns and stuff, but there's also stuff that's out of my comfort zone, like the blues and the greens and whatnot. And I can't wait to play with them. I do love these lashes. I always reference juicyjas, but most of these products that I bought is because of watching her videos. Besides this is strictly faceovermatter. I remember seeing this on her and all the different looks she did, and I can't wait to test out some of those looks that she did. But yeah, all these products were really good, and I really like the way this turned out. And if we ever go back outside again, I will be sure to try this out. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video.